Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. What's going on, YouTube? It is your girl, Miss Honey, here with Power Book 2 Ghost Season 1, Episode 7. Okay. This episode is entitled Sex Week. Okay. And before we get going good with this review slash recap slash discussion, let me give a couple of shout outs. One, shout out to all my new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. Take your shoes off, sit a spell, stay a while. You're going to enjoy yourself. Shout out to my existing honeybees. You guys be down in them comments and y'all be having me thinking. I be thinking because of y'all. Okay. Shout out to y'all for always supporting me down in the comments. I really appreciate it. Okay, so let's see. This episode opens with Kane and two members of the GTG gang robbing the church house, child. Now, the church done collected all their money. Everybody gone from the church house. The entire vestibule and sanctuary is cleaned out of all parishioners. It is only the armor bearer, baby, one member of the usher board and the pastor there, and they got all of the monies and all of the baskets lined up there on the table. In walks Kane and two members of the GTG gang from the back door and sticks them up. He leaves one guy with the usher board slash the counting room man and takes the pastor up front to the safe to get money out of the safe. Now, of course, the pastor is trying to plead with him. Brother, you don't want to do this. But what WWJD, brother? WWJD. What about that? Kane mollywops him. I was like, oh, Kane, you cutthroat, ain't you? I remember a time when we used to turn our music down when you went past the church house. Let's say you was driving down the street and you went past the church house, you turn your music down. Y'all don't remember that. Y'all don't remember that. Y'all don't remember that. Now, in case y'all thinking about robbing the church, don't do that because it ain't set up like none of this right here. First of all, that money gets dumped into a bigger bag and then it goes behind a locked door in the back, okay? And it is usually guarded by an off-duty police officer who is wearing his uniform and his gun, darling. Don't try it. And a lot of these pastors nowadays be strapped. So I wouldn't do that. It just, they made it look easy, but this ain't how it's gonna go down in the real world, okay? Just remember that now. Okay, so shots are fired, and neither the counting room guy slash armor bearer slash usher boy or the pastor is shot, but instead one of the GTG members shoots one of the other members, the other member, right? And they got the abort mission. They got all the money they came there for anyway, and a gold chain. Child, I was like, how basic? How basic? That was old flea market chain he ripped off of his neck. I was like, why would you waste your time with a flea market neck? Anyway, the man saw a tattoo on the hand. That's why I was like, why y'all wear all these tattoos and things? It's just like having a bumper sticker that said, I'm the car that hit you. You know what I'm saying? It just don't make no sense. Well, he sees the GTG sign on the man's hand. And so later on, he ends up, of course, telling the police that it was a member of the GTG gang. They probably went and questioned one of them members, probably the one that got shot, because, you know, you get shot, you're going to have to go to the hospital one way or another, you know what I'm saying, in some form, shape, form, or fashion. And then that member probably turned Kane in, but we going to get into that. Okay, it is also sex week at the schoolhouse and down at Stansfield, and it is also the announcement of the semifinalists for the canonical studies scholarship or internship or whatever it is, right? And so even though Tariq didn't make it, okay, Lauren and Adele's teeth slash bruschetta. Her name is like Bruchandria or something like that, but I call her bruschetta, the Italian coffee treat. So Lauren and Adele made it, and like 3 other students. We see after that, after the class ends, Tariq is obviously a little bit disappointed, and we see Milgram kind of catch up with him and kind of console him a little bit, because he was looking forward to getting into this internship or whatever it is, so he could graduate early. Well, Jabari sees her catch up with Tariq and console him from afar, but he sees where she touches his arm. You know, we've already established that Milgram is inappropriate. She's a habitual line stepper when it comes to sexual activity. You know what I'm saying? She overly affectionate. You know what I'm saying? She stay doing too much when it comes to intimacy. And he sees from afar, knowing her and knowing how she moves, he suspects that her and Tariq may have something going on. Or at the very least, he seems like he's coming really across like he's jealous of Tariq. Which, by the way, Tariq may be 18. I think he did have a birthday in this season. So he 18 years old, and you jealous of an 18-year-old boy. Now, you done went to high school, college, finished college, and got a job at a college as a professor, but you jealous of an 18-year-old boy. If you don't sit your... Ooh, Jabari. I wanted somebody to slap his face so hard in this episode. I just wanted somebody just to walk out, cha-chow, snap out of it. Knock it off. Grow a pair, right? Anyway, it doesn't happen, but Milgram does come close to snipping his balls nonetheless. We see where Braden and Riley, you know, it's sex week, so we got a lot of sex in this episode. Discover where her clitoris is, child. And Tariq comes in, he wants her out. He done told Braden he don't want her there in his room no more. She don't need to be here, so on and so forth. And listen, Braden really is not trying to hear that. You know, he feels like she's not the reason why, you know, we got a lot going on around here. She's not the reason why that's happening. It's because we low on product. Okay, we not getting no product in. We got all these orders back ordered, and it's not happening because we don't have no product. That's the issue with you. It's not Riley. Okay, and Tariq is like, whatever, dude. So then we see where Riley also, before Tariq came in the room, she once again started questioning Braden about where he was, what he was doing. He once again tells her yet another lie. And she was like, "No, I know Tariq told you to tell me that." It's just a whole bevy of issues with that alone. But I'm not even going to go there, okay? Your man can't be a lie, but whatever. Okay, so let's just press on. Let's just press on towards the mark. Okay, so we see where Jabari goes by Milgram's office after seeing her console Tariq, and he wants to sit down and chit chat with her a little bit, maybe about his book and Yeah, it turns out he's got a bit of a writer's block. Now he's pumping out these books, but what he's pumping out, the publisher really don't want. So not only has he already stolen some of Tariq's work to redo his book, you know, to fluff it up a little bit more, make it a little bit more palatable and sellable for the publishing house, but he also needs Milgram's help. Like he needs somebody to give him something that he can pour into this book, and hopefully it can be a success like his first book. Or better, way better than his first book, right? And so he starts in with that, "Hey, how you doing?" Yada, yada, yada. Because last time we saw the two of them, they was connecting parts, right? They was bumping uglies. And so he's trying to keep on that same wavelength, and also get her to help him with his books. And she don't really have time because she is still slobbing over there on Zeke's knob, right? It's a whole mess. It is a whole mess. And, you know, she kind of blows him off real professionally and everything. And she was like, "I got too much I got to do. I ain't got time for that right now. I got to write out this test for the students for the 48 laws of power." He was like, "Let me help you with that." She was like, "Cool." And he thinks, "Okay, thank you for giving me this assignment. That ingratiates you. I'm going to stay a while longer. Hopefully I can get my tip wet and you can help me with my book." And she's like, "That is all. Thank you very much. And good night." He is like, My good looks and strong penis isn't winning you over? What the heck is going on here? Yeah, okay. So she sends him on his way. It's time for a re-up, a drug re-up. Now, Kane's been missing ever since his daddy had him mollywopped down in the jailhouse for knocking Monet on the ground and stepping out of his lane, forgetting that he is a subordinate. Now, he ain't in charge of nothing. That Monet is in charge. Okay. He been MIA, and it's up to really Diana and Drew to help with the situation. So she sends Drew on assignment one way, sends Diana down to the bar to count the product that they have. What product? I don't know. Anyway, so and she feels like, you know, something is going on with Kane why he wouldn't show up. And so she calls Renzo and was like, they can't come down there and see you. And Renzo was like, yeah, what did you say to him? I just let him know that you the boss, baby. And let him know you was in charge and, you know, he had to stay in line. She was like, We see old goofy arse Zeke, child. Tariq runs down to his room. Of course, he pissing in the wind. He ain't got nothing but time and money on his hands. Okay, and it's sex week, so he's staying deep into the uteri of all the ladies he can find, namely number one, Professor Milgram. And Tariq kind of chastises him a little bit about not being where he's supposed to be. Like, it's bad enough I got to write all your papers, but I got to bring them to you too. I got to hand deliver them. You know what I'm saying? Get your head in the game. Get your head in the game. And Zeke is like, right, I get it. Responsibility first, pussy later, right? I got you. He is so goofy. Goofy, right? Okay, so, let's see. We see where Tariq calls Monet and was like, hey, I need more product. Like, what is up with this product? I got a lot of orders. And Monet is like, when I re-up, you'll re-up. Sit tight. We're going to get that done. Meanwhile, he leaving Zeke's dorm room, and who's walking into the dorm room looking like an old businessman with a young face, okay, Simon's husband. And he want to shake down Tariq about the fact that orders is backing up. First of all, you ain't the kingpin. You was not in charge of this organization. All you was in charge of is building the app, okay, and putting the algorithm together for the app and whatnot, doing the coding for the app and whatnot. You is not Tariq's boss. You don't low-key threaten Tariq. Okay, now it's condoms everywhere. This one boy is running in and out of the room like he a Christmas elf with these condoms, child. You know, wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up. They still got Q week going on, and they got all kinds of panels about safe sex and all that stuff. But the kids, of course, want to do Q week or whatever this is, a Q party or what. Y'all know what you know what I'm saying. It's college, okay? So they ready to get involved in this bucket naked type festivities, where I'm sure there will be a lot of, you know what, that happens to girls on college campuses. But that is not why we're here. Okay, so then we see Davis is at Saxe's office, and they both running down the possible list of witnesses to come. Saxe doesn't really seem like he is on to Davis. Davis does seem more like he's playing Saxe in this situation, but what Davis got to worry about is Ott, because Saxe is moving in the way that he's moving because of Ott. So Ott is the fly in the ointment in their whole plan. You know what I'm saying? And whether it is they're playing together or Davis's plan to backstab Saxe, Ott is the fly in that ointment, right? And so they trying to figure out all the people they can bring forward that's going to bring up Tariq's name and then consequently get Tasha off. Well, if they can't think of nobody. Every name that Saxe drops, Davis shoots it down until it comes to him. Oh, I know who it is that we can get to testify. It's Paz. And then we see where Saxe goes down to Paz's nail salon, which she bought with the inheritance money that James gave her. She got a whole thriving business, baby. She got her son back in private school. She got her daddy back in the nursing home, child, in the retirement community where he can be seen about it, whatever. and she doing good, and he come on her to testify, and she was like, I don't know nothing about nothing, I ain't in there. And he was like, well, no, all I need you to do is come and tell them this simple little thing about the fact that you did know Tasha, real something real bland. Y'all know he lying. When he get on the stand, he gonna rake her over the coals and get her to admit that Tasha could possibly be the kingpin, but she's none the wiser as of right now. So we also get to see where Diana tracks Kane down at his girl's house, and after she goes back and forth with the girl a little bit, calls out for Kane. Kane comes down the steps, and she convinces him to come back into the fold. You know what I'm saying? Come back into the fold. The way you gonna win Monet over after you slammed her hard to the ground is show that you really down here, down for the family. You down for the cause. It's time for the re-up. And DC Joe gonna be there, and it's just gonna be Monet. I was like, how y'all running an empire with 2 children and an older brother? Like, what is going on? Like, for the most part, Drew and Diana are green. You know what I'm saying? Drew is gayer than ever now. You know what I'm saying? See, like before, we knew he was gay. It was on the table, but we was on the fence about it. Ever since then, is it me? Has Drew just gotten exponentially gayer? When him and Diana was sitting there on the couch and he was having a warm cup of tea, baby, and she had her feet in his lap, I was like, child, he was looking at her like, I was like, oh, you're supposed to be a drug dealer. Get it together. To me, Drew is the weakest link out of all the children. I know we think it's Kane because Kane got a hot temper, but to me, Drew is the weakest link. And that's because Drew is being led by his emotion, his own passions. You know what I'm saying? And he's not willing to forsake it. You know what I'm saying? He's not willing to put business first and booty later. So to me, that makes him ultimately, excuse me, you guys, the weakest link, right? Okay, so she convinces him. They hug it up. It's a tender moment for me because I'm close to my siblings in the same way. If I went rogue, my siblings would come after me and vice versa. And that hug at the end, I was like, y'all family. Ohana means family. And family means no one left behind. Shout out to Lilo and Stitch. Okay, so yeah, that was a good little moment. Okay, and we see where Tasha calls Tariq and tell him not to come around anymore, to focus on his studies and paying Davis. And Tariq is like, Mama, I don't want to. She was like, no, your name has been mentioned. And I really don't want you coming back around here because it's just going to put you that much more in the spotlight. I was like, okay, Tasha, look at you thinking about somebody other than yourself. Well, she always has. I'm just saying. She's putting a lot of pressure on Tariq as an 18-year-old. Yeah, so it's a lot of pressure on an 18-year-old. So, yeah. Well, Tariq tries to dead the whole Riley thing with Braden. And, like Braden was saying, we're down in products. And Tariq made a good point. Her coming here, like you saw what Kane did to you and Trace. Riley coming here is just gonna put her in danger. And by default, Braden was like, yeah, you got a good point about that. And so we see where Drew's been sent on assignment and Diana's been sent on assignment. Drew is at home making a sandwich though, and Monet is quizzing him about Kane. She wants to know if Kane went to see his daddy, what they talked about. And Drew was like, Kane, don't tell me nothing. I don't know nothing about nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here because I can't get my own apartment, right? And it's supposed to be this endearing moment, but we can see in this moment just for as in control as Monet comes across, she really doesn't really know her kids. Like she can't really see that this whole her trying to fit Drew's square peg into a round hole is not gonna work. She hasn't come to grips with that yet. At the same time, Diana comes in. You know, she done went over there to Kane girlfriend house and talked to him and lets them both know that Kane is gonna be there for the re-up with DC Joe, and they ain't got to worry. Well, where is he? Monet says, and she says, don't worry about all that. Just know he gonna be there for the re-up. You know what I'm saying? We got our muscle back, right? And so she sent Drew on his way and tells Diana, don't think you slick not letting me know where Kane is. Kane is not your husband, Monet. Kane is not your husband. He is not. He your attack dog. And he's free to roam the neighborhoods. And Diana was like, well, you know, that's the problem, is that it's a breach in trust. Like, he's got to have somebody he trusts. And all the information you need to know about the situation, you know. And Monet conceded. She was like, man, I got, you know what I'm saying? I got what I need from the situation. We said, well, Milgram is making Zeke her regular child. I'm talking about she just, you know, and they post coitus child after she reached the mountaintop, and she is la la la. He was like, that's number 3. Let's do 4. I was like, child. Ooh, child. 4? Oh, dare we dream, dare we hope or dream. The audacity of hope, darling. So, also, he lets her know he wants Milgram to meet his auntie. I was like, idiot, you dummy. You sprung over this lady? You sprung? He said he done with these young chicken heads. He got him a real woman. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He got somebody that know what to do and how to do it. You know what I'm saying? How to receive all of his love, right? Oh, it's a whole mess. And she was like, pace yourself, little boy. Pace yourself. I thought we talked about this. I was like, Milgram, don't you see this going off the rails? Don't both of y'all see that this is just a temporary thing? Y'all really technically shouldn't even know each other's name. Like, technically. It need to be like some drive-through type thing. You know what I'm saying? Real quick. And go on about your business. Like, I don't even know what her real name is. We call her Boo. We call him the ball man. You know what I'm saying? Basketball. You know what I'm saying? Nicknames, not real names technically. This is what it's really supposed to be. So, Jabari shows up at the same time. She getting out the shower. She putting Zeke in the shower, and they done ordered food. Knock at the door. She think it's the food. It's Postmates, I guess. And here is Jabari at the door. You know, he shows up and he got a free meal that was given to him. Like, I mean, a bag full of stuff. You a lie. And I was at a restaurant, and an owner asked about you, and I told her I was coming over, and she sent a free meal for us. You a lie. You went and got food and came over with them test papers, them test questions that y'all gonna give the kids to test them, and a hard penis, and thought you was gonna slide in, and you was gonna get in that way with a meal. You know what I'm saying? You thought you had come up. Oh, like Bruce Sketter said, this right here is only for MBAs and mortgage payments. You thought you was going to slide in with a Happy Meal, sir. She got somebody there. Now, he also got jealous intentions along with that school working there hard on. And he suspects when she looks off to the side there's somebody there. And he look over and he see, he said he recognized a paper that Tariq wrote. I thought he just saw the sports channel on the TV. Child, I don't know. And gets mad, child, and walks off. You know what I'm saying? Gets down there in the car, and all the papers, you know, the front of the papers had the student's name on it, and the back of it had the test. Well, the one he had Tariq's name on, he tore it up and rewrote it. Okay, and we don't find out till later what that is, but we know he being real vengeful right now, real spiteful, because she don't want to get him that wet, and help him out with his book. He's not in control of her. He's not in charge of her. She out here doing her own thing. She doing the wrong thing, but it's her own thing. It ain't none of his business, okay? And he's trying to control and rule over her, all the while looking like the weakest link. Like, this is the way he moving in this whole episode. He comes across real weak, real weak, you know. So we see where, you know, when he rewrites the text, he's kind of setting Tariq up a little bit. We see where Trey shows up at Tariq's room, and Tariq immediately, he's like, where's my brother? And Tariq was like, where's my drugs? And he is like, I don't know what you got my brother into here, but if you don't leave him alone, I'm gonna call the police. You got one more time to threaten somebody that you gonna call the police, and you gonna find yourself floating. You gonna find yourself in a convenient accident. You know what I'm saying? With some special soup or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Electrified in the bathtub, an unexpected heart attack, or slip and fall down some steps. If you don't watch your mouth, you gonna get them ditches you asking for, snitch. You gonna get it, okay? You're around here trying to throw your Republican weight around. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I really feel like Tariq should have hauled off and busted him in his face, but we know Tariq is slick like boiled okra. He move a little bit different, right? Okay, so Tariq also spins it and lets him know, you ain't gonna say nothing. The cops are in our pockets too. That's why they let you go. And nothing is gonna come back to me. It's gonna all come back to your brother. So you need to watch your mouth and get me my drugs back, right? And Trace alludes to, I don't know what the three of y'all got going on around here. He was like, I didn't do anything to you or to this Tariq. I didn't do anything to you or to Braden. I was here playing chess with Riley. I don't know what the three of y'all got going on, Trace said. What kind of freaky dicky triangle y'all got going on around here. But I saw you and Riley. I know you and Riley hooked up in my room. I had to wash the sheets because I just wasn't unsure. And Tariq was like, what is you talking about? Okay, this is the second time somebody has alluded to Tariq not being in his right mind the night of his birthday. And it gets Tariq to thinking, why was Riley pushing up on me in the room? I don't remember sleeping with her. And I was like, I don't know, Tariq. I don't know. As far as I know, the only person you slept with is who was that girl that Kanan made him sleep with? Yeah, his girlfriend. I think Tariq lost his virginity to her, right? I think so. Y'all tell me, pull it down below. But as far as Tariq can remember, he ain't had no sex with Riley. But he don't really remember a lot from that night. Okay, but he's suspicious. Okay. So the next day, they in class, and and Milgram passes the test out. Like I said, on the front is their name, and on the back is this secret. They're supposed to partner up with another class member. And when they partner up with this class member, it is then up to that class member, according to what they've read in the 48 Laws of Power book, is they got to find out what that secret is. Basically, this is a test to see if they have learned how to lie, spy, and manipulate somebody out of their secret, okay? If you get the secret, then you get full credit for the assignment, right? Tariq partners up with Lauren. And later on, him and Lauren in her room, and she just tells him flat out, you know, here's the thing. By hook or by crook, I'm going to get this secret. You're not even accepted into the program, and this A is going to mean a lot to me, so go ahead and just tell me your secret. And Tariq is like, hell no. But you tried it, though. You tried it. And when she starts like I said, he tells her, you know, I need an A too. And she was like, I'm going to get this answer from you by any means necessary, this secret from you by any means necessary, child. And they get the tickle fighting, child. And she on top of him, done straddle him, child, and got him down on the bed, and she tickle. He's like, tickle. Like the Pillsbury Doughman. In walks Malcolm in the room, child. He come in the room and immediately starts filming. I was like, if this ain't the... And she turns around and sees him filming. It's like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? And he was like, oh, I'm filming because I want you to see how you acting, how you out here in these streets wilding out. And Tariq is like, dude, don't you go to school in D.C.? And he N-word, right? And the dude is like, no, you don't call me no N-word. You don't do this and that and the third. Child, so Tariq is like, N-word this, N-word that. And the guy is like, I expect you to carry yourself with more professionalism or some old square nonsense he say about Tariq calling him the N-word this, N-word that. And Lauren tries to jump in and he says, quiet. The men are speaking. She's like, excuse me? And Tariq was like, let me go. And then when he on his way out the door, he gives him one more ninja just for good measure. It is hilarious. Like the way Tariq play out Malcolm is funny. It is hilarious to me. Anyway, he sits down next to Lauren and tells Lauren that she is misbehaving. You got to get yourself in line. And what are you thinking? And every time I come in here, you're with this little boy and yada, yada, yada. And she is like, you know what? You ain't got to worry about never catching me in nothing again. Don't ever come by here. He was like, you think about what you're saying before you say it. She was like, oh, no, I done thought about it. I done processed it. And I have come to the professional decision, okay, that you are fired. Sir, you are no longer in my employ. Get your things, okay? Gather your belongings, darling, and go. And baby, when I tell you, his face was so cracked. His face was so cracked. Like, why you busy trying to run somebody? Why you busy trying to rule over somebody? If you had never tried to rule over Sophia, them white folks wouldn't have never got her. You know what I'm saying? Why you busy trying to rule over her, okay? You ain't in charge of nothing. And you coming across real mealy mouth to me. Excuse me, sir. I thought he was going to pull out a white glove and slap Tariq across the face and says, this means war. Challenged him to a duel of fisticuffs or something. I was like, sir, you are the squarest with that long neck. Okay. So, then we see where, let's see. Okay, so then we see where Tariq leaves there and he's texting back and forth with Braden. They're gonna meet up back at the room, but he's also following Riley, and he follows her to a courthouse, and he sits in the back of the courtroom and she's standing up before the judge. This is her case that's being heard before the judge about the marijuana that she got caught buying in the park, which, you know, is how she ended up spying on Braden and Tariq for her uncle Saxe. And so she said, you know, the judge is like, are you ready to proceed? And she was like, I'm just waiting on my uncle and my lawyer. And Tariq is like, what's going on? And so then he sees, in a heave and a rush, here comes Saxe rushing in to sort of defend her, to speak on her behalf. I'm here to represent my niece as her lawyer, and also to, you know, yada, yada, yada. And Tariq is like, what the duck? Yeah, Tariq, yeah, right under your nose. Like, yeah. What is you gonna do? Now, your daddy will snap her neck, but what is you gonna do, Tariq? What is you gonna do? Ooh, Tariq was shocked, child. He was shocked. So we see where Tariq goes back to the room and he tells Braden he got to talk to him. He goes back to the room and Braden comes in and he tells him that Riley tried to come on to him on several occasions, and Trace is his witness and she just got to go. He tells him, I'm sorry, but she not the girl you think she is. And I was like, Tariq, why are you taking this approach? This your partner. Let your partner know that the girl is hot. Like, he needs to be aware of the fact that these girls out here can't be trusted. Like, bros before hoes. Like, business before, you know, booty. Right? But he doesn't. And Brayden questions him about always lying. And you always know you lying to me again. He knows Tariq. And he knew that Tariq was lying. But at the same time, when he runs into Trace, and now he storms out on Tariq, and just kind of gives Tariq what for, you're lying, and this is beneath you, bro. And Riley wouldn't even do that, yada yada yada. And I don't know why Tariq didn't tell him, if he was just trying to spare his feelings. Again, these are some of the little foxes we talked about last week that's gonna end up inevitably destroying Tariq's vine if he's not careful. Like, if this dude gonna run product with you, you need to be able to trust him 110, right? At least with something like this, you should be able to trust him with it, right? So, Brayden runs into Trace, and Trace kind of confirms what he saw going on between Riley and Tariq. And when Brayden gets back to the room, he apologizes to Tariq, and he tells Tariq is working on the paper that he's gotta do. And he tells Tariq that he's sorry, and they kind of squash it and move on from it. And Tariq says, "Oh, I'm sorry that she wasn't the person that you thought she was." I was like, "Oh, what a good moment." At the same time, I was like, "This ain't no way to run a business, especially a drug business." So we see where Tariq gets a text from Jabari. Jabari wants to meet with him. He goes to see Jabari, and Jabari has still got a hard on, and he also has writer's block. And when Tariq comes in, he asks him a series of questions about the sports game, because he saw it on the TV over there at Milgram's house. He asked him about where he was. I was at the library. The library was closed for repairs. Oh, I guess I'm confused. And he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, you confused." I was like, once again, Jabari, you're a grown A man with a grown A job, and this is a for all intents purposes, a young boy. And he tells Tariq, "You want some extra credit? You want to get some extra credit? I'll give you some extra credit. That's no problem. What you got to do is write for me the next 2 chapters of my book and go into great detail." Okay, he really want him to write a paper for extra credit, but we already know he gonna take whatever Tariq write and he gonna put it in his book, right? Them gonna be his next couple of 2-3 chapters, the one he stalled out on, right? It's so low down. It's so grimy. But I see how they gonna get rid of you. I see how they gonna get rid of you and Milgram. I see how Tariq is gonna use what you and Milgram both got going on against y'all. This how he gonna get out of school. It ain't gonna be following these paperwork in this hard A class. It's gonna be you two knuckleheads, Milgram and Jabari. You two confounded fools. Okay? Huh? I'm telling you, you got to watch your loins. You got to watch your loins. You got to watch your ego. You got to watch your pride. You got to watch that jealousy. All of these things are things that will take you out. And while I'm on the subject, when you see people display these types of weaknesses, like what we see with Brayden and Riley, like what we see with Trace, just flat out saying he gonna snitch. You know what I'm saying? When you see these types of weaknesses in people, then automatically you gotta move differently with them. Like, are you making a note? Well, probably Tariq is making a note, because we all know that Tariq is slick as boiled okra. Slick as boiled okra. So Tariq is like, yeah, for sure. I will definitely, that's no problem. I'll take care of that. Now, we gonna talk about the court and past testifying and stuff against. But let's go on and talk about Kane. Kane is on his way to the re-up. And on his way, get in the car, he gets picked up by the police. It's all peaceable. They like, "Come with me, sir." We see where Diana and Monet are looking for them. Tariq has left Jabari's office, and he want to know, where is this product? I need to get this product. I need to get this product out. It's sex week here. It's a really busy time, and people need their drugs, right? And she's like, "Oh, come on down to the bar. Number one, I want to see you, basically. But come on down here and get your drugs." And so Tariq comes down. He comes in the back way. Monet is upstairs at the bar, and she's waiting on DC Joe to come in. And DC Joe comes in, and he is just as as random can be. I was like, this dude ain't push no drugs. This dude is not pushing no drugs. First of all, you come in with a cardboard box. What is he doing? He come in with a cardboard box. He upstairs talking to Monet, and Monet is look, I only have half. Why don't you only have half of the money? Why? Why do you only have half the money? What have you done with this money that Tariq gave you? Is that the only half you have? What is going on? Like, am I missing something? But why don't Monet have the money for these drugs? She only got half the money, so she want all the pills, but not the cocaine. And half of the cocaine. And he was like, I don't care. I do not care. This the money I'm supposed to pick up. This the money Bob told me to pick up. I'm going to pick it up. So we going to figure something out. You're going to give me this money. We're going to have to figure something else out. Whenever a man tell you we're going to have to figure something else out, it always means some type of sexual favor. Okay? Just footnote there. Anywho, so she was like, I don't know what they told you, but my name is Monet Tahia or Tahasia. Tahada, right? And I'm telling you, she trying to, buck up. She ain't got her bulldog there, so I gotta be tough, make herself bigger, make herself, seem tougher. And he was like, you gonna give me this money, you gonna give me something else. You know what I'm saying? This how this gonna go down. And he walks up on her, and she fights him off and kicks him off of her, and he falls on the ground. Now, mind you, she got a gun in her back waistband, right? And he gets up and picks up a box cutter. I was like, a box cutter? First of all, you a drug deliveryman and you don't have a gun. It not only in your waistband, you ain't got a gun, an ankle holster for your gun, nothing. You ought to have 2 guns on you, minimum. You gonna pick up a box cutter? Where the box cutter come from? I was like, if this ain't the most bargain basement, Lord, I was like, this is a mess, child. So he gets up, and by this time, Tariq and them downstairs, and they hear him. But let's go downstairs before we get to that part, okay? Pushes him off, box cutter, he's encroaching, she's on the ground. Tariq downstairs, right? So when Tariq first come into the basement, Diana is happy to see him, but he immediately gets a call from Milgram, and he walks off, and he's talking to Milgram. He done put his book bag down. You know, the one he keep his gun in. Child, I just don't understand. Anyway, he walks off. He's like, yeah, I agreed to do extra credits. I think it's gonna be fine, and you don't have to really worry about me or keep calling me at these inappropriate hours because yeah, right, okay. Meanwhile, Diana, he done walked 3, 4, 5 feet, and Diana decides it's a good idea to go in his bag. Now, technically, you're supposed to get your hand cut off, Diana. You're supposed to get your hand cut off. You're supposed to be backhanded, knock hard to the ground. If you get caught going in somebody's bag. Now, I'm just saying this because the way some of these people is moving is not really drug dealerish. It's not. She goes in there, she finds the condoms. She digs down in a little bit more, and she pulls out the paper. The paper that's got his name on the front and the test on the back, and that secret. And the secret is a professor is sleeping with a student. That's his secret, right? Puts it back in the bag, and then he walks up, and she's like, well, who was that? The hoe you had in your room when I came around there last week? And he was like, nah, just chill out with that, because I was like, I know you think it was Lauren that was in the room, but it wasn't Lauren. It was Braden's girlfriend or whatnot, and Kane had come and he had kidnapped Braden. And it all makes sense. Like, she knows that, Kane was off the rails last week. Like, he had gone rogue, right? And so it makes perfect sense to her. And he tells her it's not like that with him and Lauren. Lauren's got a dude, and they end up kissing, baby. So they are 1, 2, 3 kisses in when they hear a kerfluffle upstairs, right? And Diana's like, what is that? Because she asked her mama, do you want me to come up there and wait with you? But of course, Monet is like, no, baby, you stay down there. Well, she didn't say baby, but that's what she meant. Y'all know Monet is all bark. But she was like, you stay down there. I'm going to handle this myself up here. So Tariq and Diana run upstairs. So just as Tariq is getting up the stairs, he sees where the guy is kind of lunging at Monet, and Monet is like, I got this, and shoots him. Tariq is like, what the hell? And Monet is like, I got this. And she shoots from the floor and shoots him in the side. Oh, he falls back. And he is just hurt. Stands over him. She was like, should have took the money. Boom, shoots him in the head. Dead. Diana approaches and she was like, what the heck happened? And Tariq is like, we got to get rid of this body. And Monet is like, Drew will get rid of the body. And Tariq is like, how is he going to handle this body by himself? Now, sidebar, I watched Peppermint this weekend on Netflix. And not only did she wrestle with a man and kill him inside the car, but then she drug his body around the back and threw him in the trunk. I don't know why it take the two of y'all to move this little flimsy box cutter, child. But okay, it's a part of the storyline. And she's like, no, Drew will handle it. And he can't move it by himself. And she was like, okay, fine, I'll let you help him. And so I was like, sure, y'all getting in real deep. Y'all getting in real deep with Tariq. I mean, this gonna be a mess. And so, we see where Tariq and Drew get DC Joe back in his van. Now they got him. They done drove him to some abandoned place, child. And he in the van, and they got to stage the body, and he gonna shoot the man through the window of the. Shoot the body through the window of the truck. I was like, this don't make no sense. He was shot here, and he was shot in his head, and the window and the trajectory, and you don't bleed out the same way when you already dead. I was like, don't do it. Scabs. Don't do it. Let's just go with the storyline that they have given us. And so, while they was doing it, and Drew was like, let me shoot you, hold the body up, so let me go around in the front and shoot it. And Tariq was like, nah, I'll shoot. And he was like, nah, man, you don't know how to shoot. Have you ever shot somebody before? Have you ever danced with the devil by the pale moonlight? And Tariq was like, never mind, you right, you go ahead and do it, shoot it. I was like, several people. Several people. He's shot a couple of people now, so yeah. He know how to aim and he know how to pull the trigger, but they don't need to know all that. But doing all of this is just gonna garner him more points with Monet and the Tejada gang, right? Meanwhile, all of this is going down. Kane is down at the police station. He's got a phone call coming. Now, he ain't even like in lockup. He ain't even in like a interview room where the door locked behind you. You know what I'm saying? Only open from the outside. He just sitting in the office. They get him an office phone so he can make his one phone call. He called Monet, but she busy killing DC Joe. So it rolls the voicemail. Makes another phone call. Maybe he calls Monet back. Maybe he calls Diana back, but they both busy dealing with DC Joe. Finally, it comes to him to call Ramirez because he's a police officer and he on the Tejada payroll. Call him. So he calls around there to Ramirez, and Ramirez gets him out, alibis him, and on their way to the car, Ramirez about to take him back to his car, and they get to talking about Monet. And Ramirez is like, you're out of control. What were you thinking? And why were you doing this? And you're going to ruin your mom's business. And Kane is like, Monet's gonna ruin Monet's business because she not even doing business the way we was doing it before. And Ramirez is like, what are you talking about? See, you don't even know she got you on the outside too. And he's like, what are you talking about? I just don't understand what you're talking about. Don't talk against your mama. Your mama know this business. Oh yeah, well, she moving the business to Stansfield. She moving it off the street. She moving down here to Lisa Stansfield school. And so Ramirez is like, nonsense. Your mom knows her business. Your mom knows what she's doing. You need to fall in line. And he was like, yeah, who she's got? Who does she have selling drugs down there at Stansfield? And he said, and Kane says, she got this ninja Tariq. Tariq St. Patrick? I was like, Lord have mercy, child. He's like, yeah, Tariq St. Patrick. And Ramirez started thinking about it. He was like, get in the car. So y'all dropping names. You busy telling your mama's business, Kane. I was like, ooh, it's gonna be a lot of bloodshed in this season. I can tell it. It's a lot of people positioning themselves to catch one. So then we see where Braden confronts Riley, child, and she lies. Here's the thing about being a liar. When you do finally tell the truth, nobody believes you. He doesn't believe her, which is why he goes back to Tariq's room and apologizes after he realized everything that was going on and after he had talked to her. I mean, it's a whole sorted mess. It's a whole sorted mess. And that's all I could think about was she's telling Braden the truth. But because she lies so much that he don't believe her. She's moved so shifty, he don't believe her. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, Tariq done went to hide to get rid of this body, DC Joe body, and all of this stuff. He got blood on the front of his shirt. And you know, he gets back to the room and the shirt all zipped up, you know. It's a mess. We see where Monet questions Diana about where Kane was. Where was Kane? And Diana didn't know. Ramirez comes in with Kane, and that's when they find out about DC Joe and how he wilded out and how they had to take care of it. Monet had to take care of it, her and Tariq. And at this point, it kind of falls into place for Ramirez what the salt that Kane was putting in Monet's game. It seems apparent to Ramirez because he's now hearing Tariq out of Diana and Monet's mouth. And it kind of confirms what Kane was telling him earlier. Yeah, it was salt. It wasn't the whole scope of the situation, but it's enough for Kane to cause Ramirez to be suspicious of Monet. You know what I'm saying? It's a sticky situation, right? So we see where Monet said, you know, first of all, she sons the hell out of Ramirez. This is going to be another issue because not only do he feel like she really is not feeling him like he feeling her, even though they sleeping together. Not only is was seemed like he maybe was trying to hoping he could take Renzo's place. But she's sunning him. Every chance she gets to disrespect him, she does. And now on top of him having suspicion and this disrespect, she dismisses him. You can go now. I was like, girl, you act like he has not had his penis inside of your womb. Uterus. At least the hallway. I'm just saying, you act like you have not laid with this man. You act like you have not laid with this man, girl. Like this, you got to see that this gonna go south on you. You can't son this guy and send him on his way. He know all y'all business. Anyway, she questions Kane about the bruises on his face. She want to know if the cops did that to him. And he was like, nah. But he don't tell her who did it. But she got a sneaky suspicion. Now, she done called around there to the jailhouse. And she done told Renzo, don't you put your hands on my baby. That's my baby. I beat him. Don't nobody else beat my baby but me. Don't you do that again. He was like, I'm trying to get him in line for you. Because he going to end up pulling your whole jugular out. Like the Rottweiler he is. You know what I'm saying? Like the pit bull he is. He going to end up pulling your whole esophageal area out if you ain't careful. And just put your hands on my baby no more. I was like, ooh. Monet seemed like she might be in charge of the girls, right? It's a whole sordid mess. Now, let's just talk really quickly about this whole situation with Paz in the courthouse. But first, Tariq goes back to his room and he got this bloody shirt on. Well, Lauren done broke up with Malcolm, long neck A, and she there and she wanted she got her robe on, child. She done walked down the hall all scantily clad with a robe on, child, and she comes down to his room. And she's like, Tariq, are you okay? I'm so sorry about what happened, the way Malcolm talked to you, and I just, can we please finish our tickle fight? And he is like, okay. Now, you done kissed it up with Diana and told her ain't nothing going on with you and Lauren, but that's no big deal, right? Lauren's there and she opens her robe up and he was like, and they kissy. And she goes to unzip his shirt and he was like, professor is sleeping with a student. And she was like, what? A professor is sleeping with the student. And she's like, I'm not sure I know what you're talking about. And he was like, that's the secret. That's why you here right now. That's why you doing all this. I mean, I've seen several different personalities from you from the time your boyfriend came up on the scene when we was doing our tickle fight and everything. And now you're here all slithering up on me and everything and trying to give me the wet, right? That's what this is about. You said by any means necessary. That's what you trying to do. You trying to get my naughty bitch and take my virginity all before A? Huh? And she was like, I don't think I know who you are either, Tariq. And she storms out. She is disgusting. Now he get her the paper, child. He get her the paper with the secret on it and send her out of the room. Now, he did this because he got blood on the front of him. Now, first of all, why wouldn't you take that shirt somewhere and burn it or throw it in the river or something? Why did you come home with that blood on your shirt? Like, what are we doing here? Anyway, now did he tell her that just because he got blood on the shirt? Or did he tell her that because he might be feeling something for Diana? Y'all let me know. Put it down below, right? But it was a smart move. Like I said, Tariq is slick as ball okra, right? Later on, we see where all the students turning in their assignment and they are saying, oh, okay, peach and apples and kiwi and papaya. And Lauren tells her secret. She's like, a professor sleeping with a student. And Milgram is like, I'm sorry, what? Apparently, all the secrets were a fruit. Basically. It's a simple test, right? Just get somebody to breach their secrecy with you, right? A professor is sleeping with a student. She all downtrodden because Tariq done hurt her little feelings and basically called her a slut for... Say she's slutting around for A's and B's, child. And Milgram was like, what are you talking about? That's Tariq's secret. Although I think he's lying. I think he just told me that because, he was trying to, throw me off. And Milgram is like, okay. And so she sees it on the same card and it's in Jabari's handwriting. So she invited Jabari down to talk about it. And she wanted to know what the heck is going on with him. And you gave Tariq an extra assignment, extra credit assignment, and he was like, oh, finally you decide you want to talk to me. And she was like, you need to get yourself in line. Now, you trying to let on that I'm sleeping with a student. I know it's Tariq you're messing with. I know it's Tariq that you're messing with. And she was like, no, that's you projecting, because we know you like to mess around with your students. And she is of age. My students is of age, but a student nonetheless. Now, so here's what we gonna do. You gonna back up off of me. And you gonna back up off of Tariq. I am now Tariq's advisor. She said, says who? I know what you're doing. She said, you know what? This is what you gonna do. You gonna back up off of me and you gonna back up off of Tariq, okay? Or I'm gonna go to the principal's office, okay, to the dean, and I'm gonna let them know how you moving up around this piece, okay? How you acting real unstable. And you gonna play it cool and copacetic from now until the time you leave here, which hopefully will be soon. Okay, and that's how we doing this, because I got a young buck, a young stud who giving me hard and strong, giving it to me hard and strong and long. He's giving me multiple orgasms. Why do you think I would let you ever sniff sniff my fields of flowers, huh? With your weak, mealy mouth, jelly bag self. Ooh, when I tell you he was 38 hot, baby, he was hot as fish grease. Oh no, she wrapped him up, she summed him up, gave him a light threat, and sent him on his way. I was like, ooh, child, he a ticking time bomb. Now, you done bruised his ego several times now. So, this is what I'm saying. We got a lot of rogue egos. We got a lot of hurt pride and feelings out there. We got a lot of people out there moving around feeling like they not being heard, feeling like they not being recognized or valued. And I'm telling you, this jealousy comes out in some real crazy ways. So I really feel like that's what we got to look forward to the rest of this season. A lot of these egos and jealousy and this pride and all of this stuff is going to come to a crescendo. Like I said, this how Tariq gonna graduate early. These two knuckleheads right here and they sexual escapades. Well, we see where after she finds all of this out, let's go to Tasha's court case now. Okay, so back in the court, Saxe is questioning Paz, and Tasha is like, what the buck is Paz doing here? What she got to say? And Davis is like, nothing. She ain't got really nothing to say because he's already come to this conclusion with Saxe, right? Like he feel like he got a good grasp on this. But I is there to make sure that Saxe is not trying to sabotage this whole situation, because it's a real simple plan as far as I is concerned. Why can't you get this accomplished, Saxe, right? So Saxe is Paz is like, you know, I do not know her as the Queen Pen. You know, I don't know anything about it. And he starts questioning her about the phone, the one she put in the grave with Angela, and how she at first was accusing James as killing Angela, and then she accused Tommy. Well, how did you know it was Tommy? Now Audie's like, yeah, keep questioning her, keep your foot on her neck, because she need to be the one to close this deal for us. And who told you that it was Tommy? And she said, Tasha told me. Don't you think it's strange that Tasha would have all this set up? Now, everything you got going on, Tasha has been sort of a part of that, right? And he finally gets her to doubt her faith in Tasha, you know, because Tasha was like, take this money and do something good, yada yada yada. You know, me and Angela both was a victim of James St. Patrick, and so was your family. So she had this idea that Tasha was one way. Well, Saxe kind of shook those that faith in who she thought Tasha was, and gets her basically to admit that Tasha could possibly be a queen pen. Like, she could be the one in charge of all of this, right? We see where Davis goes in and crosses Paz and just kind of gets it all thrown out, basically. He asked her where she got the money to open up her shop. Come to find out it's an inheritance from James' estate. So your child is back in private school. Your daddy back in the nursing home. And you got a whole business. Obviously, you have some reason to point the finger at Tasha when you pointed the finger at now 3 different people. How are we supposed to believe this? He shakes her testimony basically, and he feels really, really good about that. Later on, we get to see where Paz goes to the jailhouse to talk to Tasha. And Tasha was like, well, how could you testify against me? We have so much in common. You're a single mama, I'm a single mama. You've gone through hell, I've gone through hell. And Paz is like, you know, I went there that night. And Tasha is looking down at the phone like, okay, girl, don't do it. Don't you do it. Now, you know these lines is hot. Now, the block is hot. And Paz is like, I could be where you're sitting at, and when you told me, you sent me home, and you told me to go home, and you know, it spared my life. You know what I'm saying? It saved my life, right? And you could be saved too. And Tasha is like, I did not kill James. And she said, Paz said, but you know who did. And Tasha get quiet, and she said, you deserve the same freedom. You deserve to get your life back. You deserve to go on with your life too. And the show goes off. Child, when I tell you it's a bunch of weak links and little foxes eating away at the vine, it is a lot. It's going to be Yeah, now if this is old power, it's gonna be bloodshed, pow, 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 body stacked up, lined up. But this is Tariq's show, so it looks like he's gonna go with this manipulation angle. Tariq is not necessarily a strong armor in that fashion. Tariq, like I said, slick as boiled okra. Okay, he's gonna find a way to get rid of these obstacles. Okay, he's gonna find a way to get rid of these little foxes in his own way. And it's the thing we like the most about Tariq, but at the same time, we know once again Tariq is not experienced. He is not experienced. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this episode. Also, shout out to if I did not mention it, shout out to Davis's afro, to Method Man's low fro. It was giving me a little Rollo, Sanford and Son, tease, Lamont tease, that low fro. You know what I'm saying? That's my mama. Clifton Davis tease. Y'all tell me what you think. Put it down below. And until next time, honeybees. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I'll holler.